What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Flash episode 5 review. I'm sorry I don't have a webcam up, but I am having a few webcam issues at the moment, but that does not matter because we do not need my face to talk about the awesome stuff about this Flash episode. Let's get started. Alright, the first thing I want to talk about, which is awesome, is Barry and Cisco are living together. Barry basically got kicked out of his house last episode, and now he's living with Cisco, which is freaking hilarious because Cisco is the go-to roommate if you need a roommate. I mean, I would want to live with Cisco if I could. And on top of that, Barry just keeps trying to make himself an awesome house guest by making Cisco breakfast and everything. And like Cisco said, sometimes a man just wants to butter his own toast. You know, you can't go buttering other people's toast, Barry. It's a little weird sometimes. But don't worry about that. It was an awesome thing, and that had to be the first thing I talk about. Because, again, Cisco is freaking the best roommate ever. You gotta talk about Cisco every chance you can. The next awesome moment of the episode is Caitlin Snow goes to go and try to figure out how she can get her powers tested because she's basically run every test that she knows. And she's a freaking smart-ass person, so you know she's been hecka thorough. And it was surprising to see where she went. She goes to her own mother for help. And her mother is basically just as cold as Caitlin, just without the superpowers. I mean, she treats her daughter just like a test subject, nothing more. She doesn't even really recognize her as a daughter. The entire time, Caitlin's basically scared out of her mind because she doesn't want to become this Earth 2 killer Frost that Cisco mentioned last season. And her mom is like, well, okay, we'll run this test, we'll run that test, everything will be okay, blah, blah, blah. She didn't even know that Caitlin was married to Ronnie and that Ronnie died. I mean, come on. Just as cold as Caitlin is as Killer Frost, Caitlin's mom is way colder. And we even see this little going to the dark side reference when Caitlin's mom's assistant was trying to keep Caitlin in the room so that he could use Caitlin as research so he can get out of, her mom's shadow. And my goodness, she almost murdered this guy. She was definitely about to murder this guy. No doubt in my mind she would have killed him if Caitlin's mom had not shown up. And it was great because that's just one of the few Star Wars references that we get from this episode. Like I said, this one was just kind of like hinting at the dark side. And, Caitlin may not be able to control it because when her emotions were kind of heightened, she got scared. She had no problem succumbing to her Killer Frost instincts and she was about to murder this guy. Let's keep talking about those awesome Star Wars references. Now, we know that the main monster in this entire episode was an actual monster. A giant monster which turned out to be a hologram. So, it was hilarious that before they figured out it was a hologram, Barry was told by Cisco and HR that he should run around it and try to catch it like they did in the Star Wars movie Empire Strikes Back. And when he tries to use the carbon fiber wire to try and, trip it up, it goes right through the wire, revealing that it was a hologram. And it was awesome because HR's like, Empire of the Sun, Barry! And Cisco goes, Empire Strikes Back! Empire Strikes Back, Barry! Which actually leads to an awesome moment of the episode revealing something about HR that we didn't know. HR is not actually smart. HR is basically just a con man. He was the face of Star Labs on his Earth, and he was an idea man. He came up with amazing ideas that usually always worked, but he had a team of scientists and a partner that pretty much implemented all these ideas, which means that Cisco's going to have to be his partner on this Earth that implements all the ideas. HR doesn't have the know-how to do all this stuff. He is, apparently, an amazing author, though, and that's actually another reason why he's on this Earth, because he's trying to write a book about his adventures here. And again, with the Star Wars references, at the end of the episode, we see Caitlin listening to a message from her mother, and her mother says if you keep using your powers, you may not be able to turn back. They may end up taking over you completely, and you'll never be able to look normal again, which means that she would look like her Killer Frost counterpart. And while she's listening to the message, her powers just kind of shoot out and freeze the desk and the computer that it's on. Which is kind of great because it's like one of those you shouldn't be using emotions type thing, and because she can't control her emotions, her powers just kind of like seeped out of her body without her wanting to. Again, it's just small stuff, but it was awesome, the whole Star Wars thing throughout this episode. And the last thing I want to talk about before we go is Julian. We find out that Julian doesn't like metahumans at all. He doesn't even like the Flash, and he's mad because some metahumans were gifted with this ability to do good in the world, and they choose to do dumb stuff like rob banks and kill people. And Julian just thinks that it's unfair that he didn't get powers. Which I think might be an awesome setup for Julian actually being Dr. Alchemy. Because we don't know who Dr. Alchemy is, and throughout the entire season, he's just been teased a little bit. Again, entire season, only 5 episodes, but still, we've only seen a little bit of Dr. Alchemy, not a lot. And it would be great if Julian turned out to be Dr. Alchemy, person who wished he had powers and could do great things with them, turns out to be the villain who's been giving everybody else powers so that he could start his own little war. I don't know exactly how accurate that might be, and it might be kind of a stretch, I understand that, but crazier things have happened, especially in the Magenta episode. She had a dual personality, and she didn't really remember what the other personality was doing, but the other personality was aware of her. So it's not super crazy that Julian might be like that, and then he could have a whole Magenta brain thing going on. But of course, we have so much more stuff that's going to be coming out. We're going to see a lot more Dr. Alchemy stuff, and there's tons of things that, I mean, episode 5, guys, and they're killing it already, so who knows what we're going to see. And the next episode's going to be awesome because we're going to see Wally struggling to get his speed back. Let me know what you guys think about episode 5, and let me know what you guys think about what's going to happen in the Wally episode. Is he going to get his speed back? Is he going to become a dark version of the Flash, kind of like in the comic books with the Reverse Flash that was related to this incarnation of Wally West? Who knows? But let me know what you guys think about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys stick around for more stuff coming out on the channel. It will get better as time goes on. I'm still working out some stuff, but stay tuned for some more awesome stuff, guys. Goodbye.